All right, let's just jump right in. We all use Excel, right? I mean, it's that trusty grid we turn to for just about everything. But what if I told you that most of us are barely scratching the surface of what it can actually do?
This quote here, it just nails that feeling perfectly. It's from a seasoned MBA, a guy named Ram, who was just floored by what his summer intern was doing. He said, and I quote, "It used to take me 6 separate software packages to do all those things." Does that sound familiar? It's that feeling, that little bit of Excel anxiety.
And this really gets to the heart of what we could call the modern MBA's dilemma. But honestly, it's a challenge for pretty much every professional out there today.
Because let's be real, the pressure is on. We are swimming, maybe even drowning in more data. We're facing way more complex questions, and everything feels so much more uncertain. Just lining up numbers in a grid, that just doesn't cut it anymore.
So, where do we even begin to fix this? Well, it's not with some crazy, complicated formula. Nope, it's with something much more fundamental. Let's talk about something called spreadsheet feng shui.
And the idea is actually beautiful in its simplicity. Think of it as the art of designing your spreadsheets for clarity and order before you even dream of doing any analysis. It's all about structure first. Just like organizing a messy room brings the sense of calm and control, a well-structured spreadsheet gives you total confidence in your numbers.
And it really just boils down to 3 simple habits. First, always create a table of contents. Think of it like a map for your workbook. Second, keep your raw data, your formulas, and your final charts in totally separate tabs. And third, document everything. What your assumptions are, where the data came from. This makes your work so much more trustworthy and, frankly, usable for you and anyone else.
And here's what that can actually look like. This table of contents, for instance, is the central hub for the whole project. No more clicking through a dozen tabs trying to find that one thing. With clear labels, maybe some hyperlinks, everything is organized and just a click away. This isn't just about making things look pretty, it's about making complex work manageable.
Okay, so once you have that solid foundation in place, that's when you can unlock Excel's real superpower. You can start to model our very uncertain world. Come on, you've been here. I know you have. You build this beautiful forecast, you present it, and the very first question you get is, yeah, but what if sales are 10% lower? Your static, single-answer spreadsheet just crumbles under that question.
So, check this out. An analyst named Julia, she did her work and came up with one projected profit number, $1,257,300. It's so precise, it sounds so confident. But it's also incredibly misleading because it hides all the risk.
But now, look at this. By running a simulation, something you can do in Excel, a totally different picture emerges. This chart, a risk profile, shows the full story. You see this whole range of possibilities, from a pretty painful loss all the way up to a huge gain. That's the reality of the business, not just one single best guess. So this is really the aha moment. On one hand, you have the single point forecast. It's just one number, a guess, and it hides all the risk. But on the other hand, you have a risk profile. This shows you a whole spectrum of what could happen. It reveals the uncertainty, and that is what lets you build a real strategy.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Once your data is clean and organized, you can stop treating it like a static list of facts. You can start to actively, interrogate it.
And I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. Picture your data like a crime scene. A detective wouldn't just stare at it, right? They'd pull out their tools, look for clues, find the story. Well, Excel gives you the forensic tools to do just that with your numbers.
So, let's put on our detective hat. You're looking at a huge list of company invoices. First question, are there any transactions that seem unusually large, maybe even a little suspicious? Well, the answer is literally one click away. You use the simple sort tool and boom! Just like that, the largest, most interesting transactions jump right to the top for you to see. No crazy formulas needed, just a simple command that gives you a powerful insight instantly. Okay, let's try another one. A little more specific. How about this? Which accounts were active only during the month of February? Now, trying to find that by hand? Forget it. It would take ages.
But you guessed it, a basic Excel tool makes this a piece of cake. With the filter tool, you can just tell it the date range you want. And in seconds, Excel hides all the irrelevant stuff and shows you exactly the data you asked for. You just slice right through the noise to get your answer.
Now let's see how this all comes together in the real world.
So an e-commerce company redesigned its website to try and get more teens to stick around. And wow, look at these results. Before the change, they were getting about 7.5 page views per visit. After, almost 12. That's a massive jump. But here's the million-dollar question. How do we prove the new website is what caused it?
That is where this idea of statistical significance comes in. All it really means is it's a way to prove that your result, like that huge increase in page views, is for real, that it was caused by your change and it wasn't just some random fluke. And yep, Excel has the built-in statistical tools you need to run that analysis and get a real, solid answer.
So let's pull all these threads together. The big shift here is to stop seeing Excel as just a fancy calculator and to start seeing it for what it truly is, a powerful decision-making tool.
So if you remember anything from this, let it be these three things. First, structure is strategy. Getting that spreadsheet feng shui right is the foundation for everything. Second, model the real world. Go beyond single guesses and start to really understand risk. And finally, ask better questions. Use the simple built-in tools to actually interrogate your data.
Because at the end of the day, your spreadsheet isn't just a grid of data. It's a model of reality. It's a digital twin of your business, your project, your idea. So the only question left is, what will you ask it next?